Welcome to Simply Elevate Magazine's Conversations with Peace. Today, I'm so excited. A lot of wonderful songs out there that have transformed me, that have touched my heart in major ways, like the song Speechless from Beyonce. Wonderful music that has done great things for me. And you don't always know about the people behind the scenes that make it happen, that bring the whole thing together. Well, today, all the way from Greensboro, North Carolina, a small town, who's made his way all the way to Hollywood, LA, California. We have today Andreao Fanatic Heard. Fanatic, are you there?
Yes, I am here. Thank you and welcome. Glad to be here.
I am so excited that you're here. I don't know if this is you or not, but I'm a Bennett College graduate, so I know
Oh,
you're familiar with.
Bennett Bell.
Yeah, I am a
Bennett Bell.
Bennett Bell. Yes, sir. And I remember in college, this guy named Fanatic who was throwing all the parties. Every time you heard something going on, it'll say, produced by Fanatic or thrown together by, that production. Was that you?
Some of it was me, but I spent a lot of time in the studio out there, or in my house making music in my house to present to the world at some point. So put in a lot of hours just making music and making tracks and writing songs and stuff.
Right, right. Now, a lot of times people think that because you're from, an unlikely place or place that people aren't so familiar with, that they can't see themselves transitioning. How did you get the guts, or how did you decide to transition from down south, so to speak, to the city?
I just knew from an early age that this is something that I really wanted to do, and I knew it was something that basically God had chosen me to do. So there was nothing that was going to stop me. I never felt like this wasn't something that couldn't happen, and it was very instinctual. Just going through the process of playing 6 degrees of separation and just working really hard and going back and forth to New York City. I was Eli Davis, who managed Anthony Hamilton, was my partner at the time, and we would just at every opportunity just go back and forth to New York City and network and just try to place tracks on different people. And we would always get these small, I call them pod jobs because they were just really easy jobs to do, but they were jobs that weren't constricting when it came to your schedule or came to your music. So I would work third shift I was third shift desk clerk at like Super 8 Hotel. And basically I worked 3 days out of the week, and the other 4 days I was making music or traveling back and forth to New York to enter into the music business. And people look at it like, I have conversations with people all the time, and they feel like New York or LA is so far away. But for me at that time, New York was right up the road. It was 9 hours away. So it was nothing for us to have 2 days off and drive to New York City, network for 2 days, try to do music there, and just come right back and go right back to work. So, we just kind of always felt like it was obtainable.
Right. I guess, it was a labor of love because it turned out to be really successful for you, right?
Oh yes, yes. And
Right.
you can't let I know like in small towns it's not. I mean, everybody's doing music now, but in small towns you don't really see a whole lot of people come from those towns and be successful. But you just have to know that it's very possible. And I take pride in the example of somebody coming from Greensboro, a small town like Greensboro, where everybody's telling you can't do it and you can't make it, and just being just sticking to it and finally breaking through.
Right. I think that's what sets the difference between a person who actually does become successful and make it and a person who almost or could have is the perseverance, not giving up.
Right.
How important is it to you to have a mentor? Did you have somebody that, kind of walked you through the progress or you're, transitioning into where you are now?
Well, I would say Benson Herbert, he actually found me and he brought me to New York City to live for the first time with
It's
the
12
Vincent deal that
o'clock.
we had on Electra Records. And Vincent, he, I stuck close to him, and so I witnessed a lot of the music business through him and being around him. and he would give me information from here and there. Another mentor that I had was Puffy or p.diddy. I spent some time with him, working under him, and so these were two very prominent people in the music business that were making huge moves. So I got to see their process, and I got to pick and choose what parts of their process would work for me. Because those are New Yorkers, and the New Yorkers have a whole different mentality in their pursuit of the music business than we do in the South. Some of it good, some of it bad, but I just like pick and choose the things that would work with me, and I applied those things to my career.
Awesome, awesome. So with that being said, we definitely see that you kind of came in under some people. How are you taking the step of being a mentor yourself at this stage, or are you mentoring or bringing some of the up-and-coming artists into your circle?
I find myself, like, I didn't choose to be that, to be a mentor, but I found myself seeing, all these different artists that are out now going through, the ups and downs in the music business. So I provide a lot of encouragement to them. I always tell artists to look at where you were 6 months ago and where you are now. Look at your network of circle of people that you know in the music business or you have access to. And when you start doing that, because a lot of times you can get frustrated in this business, and this business to me is like 75% mental, and that's getting through the ups and downs and the broken promises, and just know that this is what was meant for you to do, and God gave you a talent to do this. So once you know that, you can get through those things. So I do a lot of guest speaking. I've actually done some guest speaking recently with Eli Davis and Larry Wade, and we're trying to take that across the country. Eli manages Anthony Hamilton. Larry Wade manages Evan Bogart, who's a prominent producer. He used to manage Bruno Mars also. But we try to, we're open to doing guest speaking gigs around the country where we can mentor people and give them insight and information in the process of getting in the music business and having longevity.
That is awesome. That is absolutely tremendous. And I'm excited about, hearing all the things that's going to transpire from this mission that you guys are on. I'm thinking right now that, if I'm not mistaken, from reading some of your history and just from following you, you also did a little acting out there in LA, right?
Yes. Well, I actually just put a film together. I'm doing the artist thing now, and I just put my record together, putting the final touches on it. But it came down to shooting a music video, and I just didn't feel like a music video could give you insight into my world and everything that I represent from a viewpoint, a message, my music, everything that exemplifies what I'm about. I didn't feel like a 3-minute video could give you that. So I put together a short film that I wrote and produced that I shot in Charlotte earlier this year, and my album will be the soundtrack to the film. So when you see this piece of work, I got to do some scoring. I just did a whole lot of producing on this film, and I've never done that before, and it was a huge task. But when you see this, you will definitely get a sense of what I'm about and what my music is about, and I can't wait to deliver it to everybody.
Awesome. Well, maybe we can get an invitation to come out there and cover it. We'd be more than happy to take a trip out there to LA.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Now, speaking of, putting like a little film together to represent the music, I remember, one of the first people to do that was Michael Jackson with Thriller. And, of course, I am like the biggest Michael Jackson junkie. My kids are. How on earth did you get the opportunity to produce a track for Michael Jackson?
Okay. Well, first let me just say that was my inspiration for doing the film, because I come from a period where Michael Jackson and Madonna were doing these short films that when they put their records out, nobody is really doing that now. So that's where the inspiration came from. But working with him, I had the song. I got with a songwriter by the name of Teron Beal and Aritza Laws, who I knew Teron, he our conversations were always about Michael Jackson. He really understood Michael Jackson and his process and his songwriting and his vocal ability and vocal arrangement. So I went to this guy and I had him write the song for Michael Jackson. And when we started shopping the song, I originally wanted to place it on Janet because she was working on an album at the time. And when I went to place it on Janet, the A&R was like, well, nobody's gonna sing this song. This song was about death. And so I was like, oh, okay. I said, somebody will sing this song. This is an incredible song and it makes an incredible statement. So then I went and I ended up cutting the song on Kavon Edmonds, Babyface's brother. And as we were doing the record, Tehran, you know, it has a very Michael Jackson feel. And so Kavon Edmonds was like, yo, these guys are trying to make me sound like Michael Jackson on this record. You guys should just give the record to Michael Jackson. And as soon as he said that, the light bulb went off on my head, and I was like, okay, 6 degrees of separation. Who do I know that can get to Michael Jackson? And it turned out a friend of mine from Charlotte, North Carolina, by the name of Kenny Quiller, he worked with Teddy Riley, and Teddy Riley just happened to be working on Michael Jackson. So I get the record to him, and like in 2 days, I get a call back, and they're like, Michael wants you in Miami to work on the record. He loves the record. It's perfect. So for me, like you know, because it was a very surreal moment getting that call. So I didn't know what to expect. But it actually, you know, happened, and that's who I envisioned doing the song. I wanted to take Michael back to "Lady in My Life," where he's singing about it. Because before that, at that point he was doing more heal the world songs when it came down to ballads and things like that. But he hadn't made a record that he was talking about the love of a woman and things like that. So I wanted to take him back to that because I know how "Lady in My Life" was like the song you would put on your slow tape, you know, if you were, you know, with a young lady or whatever. So that's what I was trying to do, was create a timeless slow joint that, you know, would exemplify, you know, what you felt about a woman that would, you know, you could play forever, you know, and he captured it perfectly.
Okay, that sounds so amazing. And I know that everyone who hears this story is going to be like so there. You know, so I'm glad you shared some of your new projects with us. What are some other things that we can expect, or when should we be able to look out for the project that you just mentioned?
Let's see. Right now, we're in the process of putting a tour together to actually go out on the road and perform the music that I've been creating here. I'm still in the process of putting the band together and finding great musicians out here on the West Coast, because every musician that I used to work with was on the East Coast. And so I'm in like new territory out here trying to find the great musicians to bring this thing to life, because the show is very theatrical, because there's opera in the records, there's blues, there's gospel, there's rockabilly, there's soul in it. There's so many different genres that I mixed in this record that I need to find the right cast to bring it to life. And so I'm going through that process now, but we're putting a tour together to come out on the road. We're finishing up the edit on the film, so that should be out within the next month. We're going to do the film festival route and place it in the short category at a bunch of different film festivals. So you will see it. You will be hearing the music. If you tune into my Facebook page, facebook.com/Experience Fanatic, or look me up under Andreao Fanatic Heard, and they spell Fanatic Phanatic. Facebook wouldn't let me have my original spelling, Fanatic. So you can look it up. You can find me on Facebook for updates on that. And also writing songs for Beyonce's new project. Also a slew of established artists. I found some great writers and producers out here that I just started working with, and we're creating some magic also. So got a lot of stuff going on, and I just really look forward to like really bringing my music to life and putting it out there for everybody to experience it this year.
Right, and that's what's so cool about you, because you are very much intimate with music. It's not like, you know, you have some artists that come out there and they just do it, you know, just to do it, or you have some who may have a passion for it but don't really know how to express it. You are so in tune with what you're doing, and even with the different clients that you work for, that I saw in your disco, obviously, you can still hear the love, you can hear the quality, and you can kind of visualize why they went ahead and went with you as the producer because you have such a great connection with it. So I definitely look forward to following everything that you're doing. I thank you so much for reaching out here to our readers, to our listeners. And do you have anybody that you like to shout out or somebody that you want to just say hello to?
Just my family and everybody back in Greensboro, North Carolina that has supported me from day one. All my Greensboro friends on Facebook that we stay in touch and we talk on a regular basis, and they're always rooting for me, and I always try to represent you guys because you guys are the foundation of who I am and have allowed me to stay grounded in this crazy business of the music business. So it's like I love coming home and connecting with people that I grew up with or that worked with me before and things like that, because it's just something very sincere about people from Greensboro, and I love that. So I encourage everybody in Greensboro to reach for their dreams and reach for your dreams outside of Greensboro, because we need to sprinkle, these great people that exist in Greensboro all over the world and in the industry as well. So I look forward to that. And also, you can find me on Twitter, too, at Mr. Fanatic. That's MrFanatic, Mr. Fanatic. Hit me on Twitter. And you got the Facebook. And let's just stay in touch and let's love and let's experience this great journey of life that we're on.
Yes, sir. Well, I tell you what, we have some fantastic talent in here in Greensboro. Kenny Sugarfoot Herman, all these great people playing at Boston Salsa Jazz, and Tiny Ross, Evan, yes, and these guys, Vanessa Ferguson, they are on fire. And I'm telling you, I'm excited about seeing where they're going to transition. I definitely believe that you set a great path for the people that are here who are really, truly doing their thing on a consistent basis. So I thank you for that. Well, I tell you right now, I have enjoyed myself today, and I know my readers and my listeners have as well. I want to say miracles and blessings, God first, winning. Thank you for being here at Simply Elevate Magazine's Conversations with Peace.
Okay, thank you so much.